Guppy and Ishada were identical. The only way most could tell them apart was by Guppy's broken front tooth. She was always tonguing the sharp edge. Safi, if there was ever a time to be bold, it is now. Ishada snapped her fingers. Our mother inhaled, her wide nostrils flaring. She seemed to bite back her response, her lips pressed together into a thin line. Safi was the cautious one of the three. Ishada spoke her mind freely, while Guppy always tried to keep the peace between her sisters. He isn't the boy who was taken screaming from Alcan anymore. We don't know who he is. Guppy's voice was gentle. Safi flashed her dark eyes at her sisters, then at me. Sisters, my daughters. Safi spoke to all of us, but her eyes focused on mine. We've been preparing for this. It was part of the peace agreement. Outside of anything else that happens, we are dreamers. We keep our promises. To my right, Delu looked as regal as our mother and aunts, her posture straight and grounded. Zeddy looked as if she was a girl dressed in the robes of an elder, shifting her weight from one foot to the other the way she did when she was nervous. I was somewhere in between. Delu and I had the same roundness of hip and belly as our mother, but I was shorter, so it showed differently on my body. Zeddy was still growing into her body shape and appeared younger than she was. She was born into a body of thick legs. Even as a child, her thighs had rippled with beauty as she walked. We wore ceremonial tunics embroidered with the creatures of earth, sea, and sky, dark red sashes tied beneath our breasts. All of us were crowned by our own hair, our black braids wound around our heads and pinned up in styles sacred to dreamers. A runner came in and whispered into Safi's ear. She inhaled sharply. He demands we join him at the Temple of Memory. I looked at Safi. My mother appeared calm, but I could see the tension in her jaw, the way the vein in her throat flickered with her heartbeat. She was as frightened as the rest of us. An Avex warrior came into the room then, her body painted with the symbols of the twin serpents who brought forth the waters Alcanza was built over. Avex protected us and the rest of the sacred city. We understand he refuses to meet you here. We were prepared for this, and we are ready, she said. Davovis has a standing ready at each temple. There are Avex dispersed throughout the city and watching the water canals. We have guards with Lal and Naru. My sisters and I exchanged small smiles of pity for the warriors who thought they could guard Naru. My mother gestured gratitude and beckoned us close as the Avex left. We are dreamers, Safi said. We are her wisdom keepers, carriers of her wishes, blessed with knowing that cannot be taken no matter what else happens. He cannot take that from us. The people, the beasts, the land awaken. Outside the dream, the living is long, my Aunt Guppy murmured. Her twin Ishada picked up the refrain, my mother and sisters joining in. What she gives cannot be taken. We are one, a weaving, a song. My voice was barely above a whisper. I swayed at the words, darkness flashing at the edges of my vision. My mother, my aunts, my sisters, they didn't know what could be taken. I couldn't bring myself to tell them what had been taken from me. We emerged in a line from the Temple of Night. My mother went first, as she always did, flanked by her sisters. My sisters and I followed, Delu to my left, Zeddy to my right. Avex warriors, the painted lines on their bodies shining in the torchlight, flanked us. We descended the main temple stairs. It was deep night, a time for sleeping, a time for solitude or rest with chosen beloveds. I wanted to be back in the safety of the temple, behind stone walls where curious eyes couldn't see or judge me. Every time I left the temple, I felt exposed, watched. But I was a dreamer. I had responsibilities even in my fragile state. I couldn't disappoint my mother. There had already been so many disappointments. The water temple, which faced ours, was lit with torches. Lal, the council member for the Litesh, emerged, dressed for ceremony, her hair coiled high on her head, her wrists and ankles adorned with seashells and corals. She wore a tunic the same color as her skin, brown like ours.